Bunker shots can be very scary if you don't know what you're doing. It is something that you have to be very confident in to be good at. You have to be committed in what you're doing in the bunker. And that means you can't be afraid of the shank or the bladed shot or the fat shot. But as far as the shot itself, it needs to be played when we're talking about a greenside bunker with a sand wedge or a lob wedge. The reason is that every club in a sand wedge or lob wedge has this bounce back here. There's that bounce. And as I open the club face, now the bounce is lower than the leading edge. This is what's actually hitting the sand, not this. When you hit it with this, you will hit thin, you will hit fat, and you will be very scared in the bunker. This is what we want to get in our heads, that this is what hits the sand and goes through the sand. Now there's ways that we're going to make it easy for us to get that, to hit the sand. The first thing is, it's the grip. Most people don't open the club enough. They're afraid of opening the club. If this is square and that's 12 o'clock, and that's 1, and that's 2, I want you to be at 2 for a standard bunker shot. We'll make some changes based upon how far the bunker shot, what type of sand we have, but for this purpose right here, 2 o'clock. Then you take the grip. We don't take the grip here, and then we don't turn it open. Because if we turn it open, then we're going to come back to square, which is going to get some bad shots. Very important. Watch your kids. Open it, grip it, then walk into the shot. Don't walk into the shot, get set up, then start doing the grip. Get that grip going and then walk in. Don't let go of that grip. Very key. The other part is very hard for people to get through their brain. It's the only golf swing where I want you to flip the club. In a chip shot or a pitch shot or a full shot, if I was hitting at impact, my hands would be ahead of the golf ball. In a bunker shot, that's death. I need it to be here, and I need the face there. Okay, so in a bunker, this club is actually going to go past the handle. Where in a normal shot, the handle's moving down first, the handle beats the club head to the golf ball, and then it releases past it over here. In a bunker shot, I need it to go past the handle through to the other side while that face stays open. Like yesterday when we were talking about pitching with lob shots, the face stays open like a lob shot. Cannot turn over. That is going to make the bounce hit first and go through the shot. Okay? I'm going to have you guys stand up if you can for me right back here. We're going to go through the setup. My target is between the blue styrofoam and that pin. This is my target line, the 7-iron right here. My feet are on a line left of that 7-iron. See how it's not way open, but it is a little open from my target. This black line here indicates the path that I want to swing on. It's not across my body, it's actually parallel to my body, but it is across in relation to the target because the face is slightly open. So we're offsetting the face being a little bit to the right, our feet being a little bit to the left. That makes sense? Okay. This line here, this shaft, is on a 90-degree angle to my target line. That is where my ball position goes. So if you guys can shift over to this side. My ball position should be right off my left heel. So that's why I drew this guy here. It's on my left heel. Okay, my feet are on this line here. Okay, my face is open and on the target line. Does that make sense? Now, here's the part that's hard for people. So I'm in here, I've got set up. I don't want a big wide open stance this way. I just want my left foot turned out a lot. Now I need my club shaft to be behind the golf ball. So that's where this line comes in. So I've got my setup. That would be normal, where my hands are even with the golf ball, but now I need to go there. Okay? Looks weird, right? But guess what's sticking out that way? The bounce. Okay? So I'm in here, I'm swinging on this black line, and I'm letting the club head pass the handle. See how that would hit the bounce and would release through? That's what we want. Most people get in here, club's not open enough, hands are ahead, and they're in fear. So once we have the setup, we got to get the setup right, and then it's the commit. It's the committing to go through it. You're walking in, you've got your grip, we're getting our setup the way we like it. We're going to commit to go through the golf ball. Okay? Based on the speed of where we want to hit it. You know, it depends on how far I want to hit it. If I want to hit it to that flag over there, I'm going to open it a little less. I'm going to take a little bit faster golf swing. I'm not changing my setup, just doing it off of speed. If you have fear, you will hit it really poorly. Really poorly. But once you hit it right a couple of times, the fear will start to go away. It will, but you have to hit it good a couple times. So to accomplish that, we use the board. So come over here, we'll talk about the board. Those who have been here before have seen the board. The board is a great way to teach your kids on how a bunker shot feels. And you should get in here and feel it too, because you got to be able to describe it to them how it should feel. And the principle behind this is that mentally it's hard for them to imagine that I don't hit the golf ball. That ideally I'm just going to knock the sand off of the 2x4. That's all I want to do. I get in here with my setup. I just try to take the sand off the 2x4. Okay? Usually they'll hit it a little better than that. I would suggest not a 2x4 but particle board. About that thick, get it down. Anybody used it that's been here? Anybody used the 2x4? It really helps. It really does. It'll come out a lot easier and they'll kind of get an idea of, oh, that's how it should feel. When you're taking the sand off the board, you're not in fear of anything. You're not in fear of a shank. You're not in fear of the thin. You're getting that speed that you need through the golf ball. The other thing that they need to work on is just drawing little boxes, little dollar bills. They need to come in here, get their setup, practice taking that dollar bill out over and over and over and over. What's the right depth? You know, how do you tell if they're going deep enough or not deep enough? That's too thin, that's too deep, somewhere in between there. I know that's not exact science, but you're going to know it when you look at it. The one behind you there, that's good depth. That's a good depth. You'll be able to see kind of a level lie about this long. Now, if you're in sand that's more packed, for example, how many of you guys play golf where you get a lot of packed sand? I heard Palmer was a little packed yesterday in some spots. Same thing. We don't want as much bounce, so we're probably going to go about 1 o'clock. The other part is I'm going to have a little wider golf swing. So in a bunker shot, you have a little bit more of a V swing so you can get the ball up. This position, I don't want a V swing because if I do, it's going to hit the ground, it's going to bounce through, and I'm going to hit it thin. But I am going to have my same setup. It's not quite as open, and I'm going to be a little wider through the golf shot. Okay? I actually prefer that over, and you can tell how hard that is. That's liner right there. That's easier than the fluffy, I think. The fluffy is the exact opposite. Wider face, because we want it to bounce through faster. More V, less, and more speed. I need to get it through that sand. Whenever they go play a tournament, they've got to go and check what the sand is like. If they're playing a practice round, it's a practice round. It doesn't mean that the practice round is playing by the rules the entire time, because they're there to test the surfaces. Get them in the bunker. Get them some greenside bunker practice if they don't have a range with greenside bunkers, because some places don't. So they know what the sand is like so they can be prepared for it. When you go to practice, you know, most people 3 times a week, is that what I heard yesterday? Roughly for your team? 3 or 4? I mean, realistically, bunkers, maybe twice a week, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's it. They got to work on the other stuff. And this is important, but they won't have this shot as much. Have them practice with setup and have them practice the box over and over. If somebody's struggling getting the ball out, practicing without a golf ball is going to get them there quicker. Get in the feel of hitting the sand out. If they're hitting it thin, it's usually a couple of things. They probably don't have the face open, or they have the face open and they're not keeping it open, or their setup is poor. And the third and final component to that is the lack of commitment. I mean, if you walk in here and you're afraid of what could possibly happen, and I'm afraid of something, I might stop and hit it fat. I might tense up. You said tension earlier with shank. You might tense up and hit a shank. But if I come in here and I get my setup in here, and I know I just got to splash the sand and take a swing, sorry, I'm not going to hit it. I'm not going to hit it that bad. I'm just not. I might one every 50 rounds hit a thin one across the way, but it's because I did something wrong in my setup. If they're hitting it thin, again, face is probably closed. And the other thing is the hand's ahead of the golf ball. That's the hardest thing for people to understand, is that I need this club to go past the handle. Past the handle with the right hand. Okay? That's just for a standard bunker shot. It's also for 50, 60 yard bunker shots. I'm going to have you guys move this way because I'm going to hit a few shots that direction. 9-iron, easiest way to hit this shot. I'm going to that back pin. I could hit a 58 there. It's tougher, but I could take my 9-iron, open it up to about 1, take my same bunker stance, and we're going to hit a little blast shot. Okay? And let it run out. It's real easy. Real easy for kids. Get them to use the 9-iron for that long of a shot. If they're in a fairway bunker and they got to carry a ravine, this is a great shot for them to advance at 50, 60 yards, getting it out of the bunker and over a lip. If you've got fairway bunkers, we'll talk just a little bit about this. Fairway bunker shots. Anybody here like fairway bunker shots? Fairway bunker shots are all about just restricting your lower body and hitting the ball first. It's really as simple as it should be. If you come in here and you try to hit it hard and you don't take enough club, you're going to struggle. Talked about earlier, if that pin is 150, and I hit my 8-iron 150, I'm going to grab a 7. I'm not going to hit my 8-iron because I'm going to come in here and I'm going to keep my legs so quiet that my head stays over the ball and I only turn my shoulders. Okay, I'm not moving these much. In a normal golf swing, I'd come in here and move a little bit behind the golf ball. You can stay a little bit taller because it is a little bit above your feet normally, because it is up on sand. but not much. You're choking up just a hair. We don't want to choke up a lot, but a hair. Okay? You get in here, get those legs quiet. I visualize ice skates. I like to feel like I have ice skates on, and I'm standing on ice. I got that thin blade, and I can't really wobble my feet. We don't want to dig in a lot, just a little bit. The more I dig in, the lower I get. Okay? We want to keep it as similar to a regular shot as we can. We just dig in a little bit, choked up a hair, keep the legs still, turn the shoulders, and hit the ball first. Don't do that. The last two I did though. So in here, legs quiet, keep the head and everything centered over it. Okay? Hit the ball first. Now I will tell you, if you've got kids that are struggling and you have a fairway bunker shot, anybody have a range that they have fairway bunkers? Okay. That's great because it's hard to find. If they're struggling with their timing, come in here, have them hit fairway bunker shots. Because you can't fake it. Because you gotta hit the ball first. So it's a great way to practice. Fairway bunker, number 12 today, is a perfect example of how we should manage our game. Church pew bunker is on the left, big lips, carrying a ravine, green's about 10 yards in depth in certain parts of that green. Very difficult shot. In that instance, they shouldn't be playing this shot. They should be taking a 9-iron. You should be taking a 9-iron. Blast it out, get it down there to 100 yards. Save a stroke. You might be able to hit 1 out of 10 close to the pin, but you're going to maybe make 7 the other 9 out of 10 times. So it's about saving those shots there for the kids. So fried egg, you're going to treat the fried egg like it's fluffy sand. We're going to have more of that V, and we're going to have a little bit more speed. Okay, I need that club to enter. So if there's the egg, I need it to enter on this side of the egg. Can't enter in front of that egg. It'll go flying out. So the air on the back side of it should enter in that at a more steep angle. I still want the face open. I don't want it closed. We need that bounce to get through the sand. But it's only going to be open about that much. And it's going to run. It'll come out of the sand, and this is not much of a fried egg, but for intensive purposes here, it's going to come in and it's going to run. Okay? It's not a hard swing, but I'm committed to go through it. There's no hesitation. I know where I'm going to hit to go through it. Now let's talk about, what do you look at? What do you look at when you're looking at a bunker? Do you look at the ball? Okay. Make sure they're safe.
I look at the sand behind it.
What do I always tell everybody, Ricky?
Look out.
Look out.
Or peripheral vision, I kind of look at it all, probably. I don't know.
Don't look at the ball. You can look out around and not be in a specific target, or you can pick something 2-3 inches behind it. Whatever works is preference. Some people like to look at the place where they want it to enter. Myself, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm not focused on anything in particular, because I'll practice a lot without a ball. So when I'm coming in here, I'm not looking at really anything particular. I am looking at kind of this area, and I'm just trying to mimic the feel. You know, I'm just trying to mimic the feel of taking the box out. If I think about the ball, then, you know, you're probably gonna hit the ball because you have good eye-hand coordination. Any questions about bunker shots? How about lies, different lies? It's no different than pitching. If it's on an uphill lie, we want to adjust our body to where it's flat. If it's on a downhill lie, just take an unplayable lie and move. Because if you're in this position here, you got no chance.
Is there more right hand in this?
It should honestly feel like it's almost all right hand to you. Because this has to pass, in this direction, it's slapping with that right hand. It's slapping it with that right hand. The face stays open. It's passing. That's the motion. If you get in here and you start pulling, you're in trouble. Yeah, most people, that's 90%. If all you do is make it as simple as, that's my target, my face is open, it goes to the right of the target, my feet go to the left of the target, and I'm going to enter in behind it with my right hand slapping it. Did you get that on camera? But those are really the basics of it. It's got to stay open, it's got to pass, and it's got to hit behind it. But it's got to be committed. If you have any fear, you're going to be in trouble, I promise you.
What about the ones that, like in my course, we have the real fluffy sand?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You hit up on the embankment up there and it buries on that slope.
Okay. So up ball above your feet, type, or this way?
Stuck.
It's stuck.
Buried line.
Like right in here.
Okay, buried into the slope.
Yeah.
I would rather, it's easier, you gonna bury it more for me?
I mean,
You'll get these.
Stairs to walk down into.
So this is the one where you'd actually would not open the club. You'd have to get up here and dig in. But essentially what we're trying to do is just enter in behind it with the face square and on a line that's pretty steep. But it's got to enter in like right behind the ball or it's not coming out. It's got to go in right in that crease. Okay? And that's about all you can get. It's actually easier in the lip like this when it's buried versus if it wasn't buried. If it's buried and it's not buried and you're in this position, you probably ought to just try to pick it out. Because it'd be really hard to hit a blast shot. As far as hitting a longer splash shot, it doesn't change, guys. It's still right hand. Face is less open. And it's just more speed. And it's a commitment. So I'm committed with the right arm to go through and hit it out there. Once you get that feel, that right hand is staying open, it's going to get easier for you. Everything is going to be back here. Nothing is going to be here. If you lead with the left side, you'll hit this area all the time. You'll struggle. Any other questions? Let's watch you hit a few.